Hey there!
Hey, hello.
Hey,
Hey everyone. I'm looking at the YouTube channel and I don't see it move, so I'm not sure what's happening. Let me see. Refresh? No, it didn't connect. Interesting.
what's going on?
Okay, I have no idea.
Are we
Anyway.
live or are we not live?
Are we
Yeah,
live?
we
You
should be
double
live
check?
right now. Uncommon. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're live. Yay!
Hoppa.
Kapadam.
So, well, how are you guys?
That's strange. Wait a minute, because I'm at the link, but we are not live. Not in this chat.
Yes, you are, says Misophonic.
Really?
Yeah, check it
Okay.
out. Misophonic. Hey, Misophonic. Hi.
Well, similar to Fred and Marvin. Okay. Let me
Marvin,
refresh.
yes, Marvin. Hello, Marvin. How's everyone today?
Leave a hi in the chat, guys. Then we know we're for
yeah.
sure we're live.
You guys see us?
All right.
Yeah, it's only the third episode, so we can still make some mistakes, right?
Yeah.
If you screw things up,
And probably, screwing things up is probably better for more fun for the viewers.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
And
Anyways,
screwing things up is probably better for more fun for the viewers.
Yeah.
I have.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Anyways, screwing things up is probably better for more fun for the viewers.
Where's the echo coming from, guys?
I don't know. Not for me, I think.
Sorry, I got the microphone on from the YouTube channel. So
Okay, cool.
Okay, we double checked everything. We're definitely live, right?
Yep.
Great start. Okay, guys. Let me first introduce ourselves a little bit to the viewers. My name is Dave Brink. I'm a comic book creator. I have been creating comics for a little while now, and my latest book is now on Indiegogo called Perfect 10. I work with a few big names like Power Rodrix, and I recently started this show to get more active on YouTube, because some people told me that would be good. Also to practice my own anxiety with going on streams from other people. So and we're now at episode 3. So far so good.
Nice.
We survived already.
Yes.
2 episodes.
Awesome.
And you, Marinus.
What's the question? Sorry.
No, a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah, well, we all Dutch people, right? So I got a book on Indiegogo as well, Blackhart Manor. It's in demand. It's a 43-page horror comic magazine style. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can go there. I'm also writing a completely new comic, but it's in pre-production, so no concrete stuff there. But and also, I like comics just like we all do here, and that's why we do, the topics that we talk about today, and we having this channel. So we have from some kind of a Dutch perspective about what we like about comics, not only American comics but also European comics. But maybe that's a topic for another day, right?
Sure.
Sure. Why not? And you, Roland?
I'm Ronald Lammers. I'm an illustrator and animator. I love comics as well. I'm happy to be here and talk about comics with you guys. I'm the third person with the thick Dutch accent here, so let's talk comics.
Yes. All right. So the topic of today was we thought about the reasons we could have to buy comics. You have the most obvious reasons, of course. You like the art, but maybe there are more reasons. So we thought that would be a good topic to discuss today. And which one of you has a comic he would like to show or share and talk about?
I have so many. Boys.
So many, yeah. Cool.
I couldn't choose. I really couldn't choose. Of course, there are the classics you have from Born Again, from Daredevil, which everybody likes. But I really want to go into a more personal view of why I started reading comics and why I like them so much. So shall I kick off?
Sure, man. Sure.
All right, let me try to share this time. Maybe it works this time.
Of course.
Last time it didn't work.
No, but this time you came prepared.
I said so. Yeah, it's ready in the...
There we go.
Here.
Nice.
The Defenders.
The new Defenders.
Yeah,
wow.
like I said, we're going back in time. Nostalgics, why I started reading comics. And I have to say, the Defenders, I don't have a lot of them. I think 2 or 3 in my whole collection. But this is why I love comics, because this story about kind of assassin or murderer infiltrates the headquarters of the Defenders. And they go. It's a kind of story where each person is picked off or killed, and they have to find out who it is and where it is. It's a classic horror movie-based kind of thing, like a Scream or something. And I really love that. So you start the story. I think you see the comic page, right? Yeah. So you start the story with the team, and they are just relaxing, and then strange things are happening. Like Cloud is getting some roses here from who is it? And later, as the story progresses, each team member gets picked off. Like Iceman gets burned on the chest. Who did it? Gargoyle disappears, and then you have Valkyrie. Valkyrie's her name, right?
Yeah.
She finally comes eye and eye with the murderer, and he laced her sword with toxin. This is just amazing art as well. I really dig Valkyrie, such a beautiful character, drawn very beautiful as well, kick-ass woman. So here is the first team member being killed. And, classic tropes. They hear a scream. They bash into the door. Murderer has vanished, and the Cloud is murdered, is dead. They have to take care of themselves, stick together. When they go separate ways, each character get picked off. And this is such a thrilling story. When I was reading as a kid, it was so scary. It's weird to say that, but it was really intoxicating, because it reads like a very exciting movie in that sense. So this is already classic diversity of stories, which I really like in my comics, which I picked now. So going off further, for example, is the art style of Gene Colan.
Oh, so wait! Did the previous one is that the same book, or is this a different book?
No, this is the Defenders, and this is the Tomb of Dracula, I believe.
Oh man, I got the trade paperback, the Epic Collection, all of them. I love it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
This art style is so organic, so nice, so beautiful, and this is really appreciated in black and white. And this story, it was Dracula, and I was a kid, and already, everything zombies and vampires was already very scary just to hear of it. Nowadays, it's not really anymore. But back then it was. And then you have this art style and black and white, so you have to really pay attention. I don't think this story or this art style or the atmosphere, I have to say, comes over when it's colored. So I really love this black and style. Look at this art. It's amazing. And you really get involved in it. And the way he lay out the pages, it's just amazing. And when I was reading this, I was really afraid to turn the next page if I would see something gruesome, like but it's actually kind of mainstream, it's a Marvel comic back in the day, but I really liked it. So I love this page as well. I love the middle left of the middle below panel or art with the girl, which really looks afraid, scared at the skull from Dracula, and it's yeah. This is I don't see this anymore nowadays.
No, it has a little bit a realistic style, a little bit of realism in there.
Yeah,
that works very well for a horror comic.
Yeah, and I was reading it back now, but it's not really horror. it's not. It has some scares, but it's not really graphic or gory. That's you have the skull, but it's also you had this Iron Man zombie coming from the grave in the latest Spider-Man movie, which you can see as gore, but I don't really think so. But yeah, it happens in this comic as well. Yeah, you will probably notice during my my comic selection, it's pretty. There are some pretty realistic things. I like to keep things grounded.
Yeah, but what we really like to know is the reasoning. Why did you buy this comic? What attracted you to it? That's
well, when I was young, we kind of had a folder which had a lot of magazines in there and also comics. So we actually got those comics for free, and that really got me into the superhero genre as well. And I think these black and white comics, they were passed on from other people or uncles or people like that. And but it's the reason why is the diversity in art, and you can, especially back then, you can pick up a comic and you can read a whole cinematic story. Basically, look at this page; it's a full cinematic art, basically, and that's what I really like. And trailing and exciting storylines that evoke your emotions. And this is scary emotions. The other comic from the Defenders, which is not really typical superhero story. It's more like a slasher story, but it was also very intoxicating. And if something on paper can do that to your emotions, I think it's awesome. That's why I love comics. You don't only have the words like in a normal book. You also have the art that makes the story even better. When you read a book, you wouldn't know. You would actually kind of everybody reads a book differently, but here you kind of already, the artist chose, like a filmmaker chooses a certain point where the camera is or the layout, and that really helps to evoke these emotions better.
True.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a comic I really bought myself. This is about the like Spider-Man is my big time favorite, and this is one of my when I was a young kid, I really liked the story because of the story, the love story between Black Cat and Spider-Man. In this story, Black Cat was almost killed by Dr. Octopus while he was in fight with the owl. Now we know that the owl is or that Dr. Octopus is better than the owl, but the story is not one comic. It's also the series, because in this comic she almost died. She's got smashed, pillar grabbed by Dr. Octopus. Black Cat was smashed from wall to pillar to wall. I think every bone in her body must have been cracked at that point, and you can actually feel the hurt almost. And then you have this page where she kind of loses consciousness. She's so badly hurt. Spider-Man freaks out, and then a few issues later, after she got rescued by Spider-Man and brought to the hospital, She recovered, and then the relationship between the characters changed because Spider-Man didn't view her as an ally anymore, or as somebody who can work with him like a sidekick, but because he doesn't have powers, so he really thought of her as a liability, and she felt it as well. So that changed their relationship as well. And so this is, this is like you each month you invest in the story, and the story progresses, and after a half year you are so invested in this story, and it's that's why I love comics. It's not just a one book or one movie. It can go on. And back in the day, they really had it nailed by progressing. So this is a few issues later, and you see here the doubts they have in the relationship, and she got hurt again by Mr. Hyde, and at that point it was the kind of switch that she got hurt again, got tangled again, and Mr. Hyde can crack her back easily. And look at how it is drawn; it's so beautiful how he drew the Black Cat. And that and that's
classic style.
It's classic, that's why it's this story is a lot of nostalgic. I don't think it's that sophisticated art anymore, compared to nowadays. But still, I love how Spider-Man is drawn, how Black Cat is drawn, and it's such a classic story.
True.
Hello, Dave. Hi, welcome.
Hey, man.
Hi, Dave.
Okay, good choice, man.
Yeah.
We knew you were a fan of the Black Cat, so.
Yeah, and this is my real consciousness. Like I said before, we had a folder which had a lot of magazines and all the a lot of superhero comics were just there. You just could pick it up and keep it. Cool. This is the real first time consciously bought comic, basically. It has a little personal value to it. My mom was in a hospital at a time for a long time. We went to visit the hospital lots of times. So each time when I went to the hospital, you have to wait, and it's really nice to go to the shop, in this hospital shop, and buy the comics there in the store. And
you could still buy them there, and in supermarkets you could buy them everywhere, man.
Yeah, you could buy them everywhere, and a lot of comics as well. The whole shelf was full of comics, even in the normal bookstores.
Indeed.
And there I found this one, and I didn't read comics for quite some while. And then I found this one, the first one for my encounter with Todd McFarlane. So if you go back and you are only used to this style, the classic style, John Romita style, and then suddenly you see this, I really had to get used to Todd McFarlane's style. I think it took me 5 issues to really appreciate his style.
Yeah.
But somehow the way he draws so dynamic, this Spider-Man head, that long-legged head and the big eyes, it was tough for me, really tough for me to get used to this. But I really enjoyed his art, and the stories were amazing at that time. It's the early 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, you have to imagine that Todd McFarlane was the first one to really introduce this ultra dynamic style. After him came others like copycats and people who got inspired by Todd McFarlane, but before him, and that barely happened. So he's really a trendsetter.
Yeah. Well, you had, like we talked about last time, we talked about the Marvel Fanfare, and there we also had an artist that was really in the dynamic styles. But McFarlane takes that again to another level in his own style, and with a lot of details. Look at the people surrounding Mary Jane on the dance floor. Such amazing details, and how he draws Mary Jane, of course, is a bombshell, and which she's supposed to be because she's a model.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is really what drew me back into the comics. This art style, way more sophisticated than earlier, more dynamic. The stories were also grown up. We also had pretty grown up stories in the 80s, but again, it was more heavier sometimes. That's the nice thing about reading comics. You have such diversity. You have dark comics, horror comics, superhero fun comics. This was a real good storyline as well. So this is kind of the first time I was reintroduced to comics, and I kind of sticked to it.
Awesome.
So yeah, I please somebody else can take over me. I have more comics to show. So
okay. Well, great introduction, by the way.
Yeah. These are the Dutch versions. Yeah.
Yeah. We at that time we didn't really have access to the English ones.
No,
the American ones.
Cool.
Or at least not in the small village where I grew up.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, man. So basically, the main reason you kept buying Spider-Man because you got attached to the character and the storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and of course, I like grounded art, grounded stories. Of course, there are some like this comic. He's very astral. It's with Doctor Strange, a lot of magic. And I like the mix as well. So you have Spider-Man, a very grounded character with a very spiritual character. So I like those mix as well. And of course, I can go wild and buy something that's very colorful or very different art style. Like I love the Battle Chasers, for example. That's way different. I really love Battle Chasers. But the main thread is that I really like the grounded, dark stories, basically. And Spider-Man is most grounded, easy to identify with for me as a character and the storylines.
Yeah, because he's a normal guy, right?
Yeah, and because he has a supermodel as a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's not realistic at all.
You scored some points there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this story as well. I like the art, and like I said, this is about the mixture of a very grounded character and a spiritual character. And look at this art, such dynamic as well. This is a classic again. This more 80s, but that robot attacking Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, with the dark energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such beautiful. This is what you see when you watch a movie. You're like, this explosion, awesome.
Classic Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, they don't make comics like this anymore. No,
and also the colors. They at that time they were limited with colors they can do. Yeah. So that made him super creative doing the colors.
Yeah.
And also, like that weird painting behind Doctor Strange's back, it really evokes his anger. He was tortured by this guy, and put on a crystal to suck his energy or something, to open a gate for Darmunu or something. Yeah, but the colors are phenomenal because they were limited. They had to be creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you see these modern colorists, and they take old pages and they recolor them, and it's not always for the better, you know. No, you can do more with modern coloring, but sometimes less is better.
This is such a nice mix of characters and storylines. This is the X-Men in New York, so you have Spider-Man in a Conan world, in a Conan universe, basically. Also, the main villain here in this story is a villain of Conan, and the villain has kind of teleported Manhattan into the past, into the age of Conan.
Yeah, that's a great storyline.
Yeah, where all the heroes kind of lost their minds, and he immediately took hold of the most powerful heroes like Xavier and what was his name again? Taliban?
Who? Which one?
The
Caliban.
white Caliban.
Caliban.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange,
Not
of
Taliban.
course, is Taliban, Caliban. And the fun thing is again, maybe by happenstance, is that Spider-Man is unaffected by a change. Everybody is changed in a Conan kind of character. Spider-Man is unaffected, and he really Spider-Man really annoys this wizard, this bad guy, and he really wants to get hold of Spider-Man so he can torture him, because he really dislikes or hates him. And even when Spider-Man is captured, he's tortured near death. He still makes those fun, annoying jokes, and the wizard really can't take it. Unfortunately, Spider-Man loses his life, I think, but that's
how it goes, man.
That's how it goes. And the art of John Romita with what was his other writer? Artist again. No, Dan Green.
Oh yeah.
I love this era of the X-Men. I really love the art style.
Yeah.
And Nimrod. We were talking about unappreciated characters last time. I forgot Nimrod. This is one.
Nimrod, yeah.
Do you remember?
He was
guys?
like on Advanced Sentinel, right?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty. So cool.
Yeah, that's kind of my picks.
Okay,
wow,
cool.
That's a lot. Yeah, cool.
I mean,
there was the golden age of comics at that time.
Yeah, I went back into the times to reevoke why I love comics, why it's so how can you say engulfing or
puts you in.
Sure.
My pick is maybe more fantastical, because while your reasons for comics and your love for comics is more grounded, mine is more out of this world, more fantastical. And when it comes to art, I'm a big Jack Kirby art, so mostly if you know Jack Kirby art, you know exactly what you can get. I'm going to share a screen as well. I got some comics here, but it's getting dark, so probably it's better that I'm going to share some. Let me double check. So here, share, and then, can you see this?
Yes.
So I'm not sure from which comic this is, but it looks freaking fantastic, and it's Jack Kirby. Everything Jack Kirby does is energetic. It's detailed. It's action all going on, and Jack Kirby is basically my. Although it's in quote unquote real in reality, everything he does is so freaking fantastic that I think this is pure science fiction. This is pure action. This is pure fantasy. Everything he does looks freaking fantastic, with all the action scenes, with the explosions behind them. You feel that the comics are jumping out of the page towards you. That is what I like about Jack Kirby. He has also the ability to have as much as possible people crammed into a comic or into a page. That okay, this is a bad example. And also the action scenes. You don't see this anymore. A breakdown from each scene, with what they go back and forth. Mostly it's 2 or 2 pages, and that's the whole battle. But you see here in 9 panels that what's going to happen between him, Captain America, and the Leaper, Badrock the Leaper, I think is the name. And it's so full of energy. So, I mean, I can look at it for over and over. It's so cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty rare that you have this comic without a lot of text balloons.
Yeah, visual storytelling.
Usually when in the 60s and 70s they put these pages full of text.
Yeah.
And I really like this. I really like this page.
I want to do something in my comic as well with this. I love this so much. less talking, more action, but also from different perspectives, from different angles. Also back and forth, not one-sided, for that the hero is constantly winning, but also that he's getting punched in the face or beat his ass or something like that. And I mean, look at this. This is the Black Panther. Jesus Christ. I mean, okay, it's very hard to see, but you know what's going on. So much in here. It's crazy.
Lots to see, yeah.
Yeah. See all the different perspectives and yeah, this is better. Okay. And I got this comic. It's this one, Fantastic Four number 88. This is also with Jack Kirby, and it has a villain called Janus. Janus is a disturbing person who has a split personality, and he somehow, through correctly, he went to the negative zone, and then something happened there, and then his body is split apart, creating a Jekyll and Hyde personality, which is freaking cool. And I love that he's calling himself the Nega Man, and he also has this green jumpsuit instead of a flashy superhero costume, and he uses a device to control the belts with all the bells and whistles there. He can do everything. He can change the molecular structure. He can turn into gas. He can, make himself more powerful, or making concussion blast like here, just with a push of a button instead of, pointing the fingers and the blast is coming out. I love that tiny little detail. It seems that the comics from the 70s, maybe 80s, it was more reliable on technology with villains and even superheroes. Like Dr. Doom has always had a gun with him, and he uses also in his gloves, gas or lasers, etc. We don't see that anymore, and I really miss that little bit of a technology into supervillains. And this is the cover, by the way. It looks crazy.
Yeah, also, I love how they always rode or flew on these weird devices.
Exactly. Those tiny pots.
Indeed.
Yeah. I love that. Like Green Goblin on his glider.
Yeah, so practical.
Yeah, exactly. And Jack-o'-lantern, with the flaming head on a pogo platform or something, jumping around the place. It's freaking fantastic. Really good. So yeah. Speaking of out of landish comics, this is a European comic. I want to start from the beginning.
Storm.
Storm.
Cool.
Yeah, I grew up with Storm. We had a comic it's a Dutch magazine called Eppo, and Eppo has, like Donald Duck, all small stories, but that little bit more mature. Not always. It has also some kid stuff in there, but mostly, also stuff like this. And I grew up with this. And Storm is basically, he is an astronaut. He flew into, I believe, some kind of he get caught into the gravitational zone of a spot on Venus, I believe, and he flew there, and he just he's not going to another dimension. He's going to Earth, but then Earth in a million years or thousands of years into the future, well, technology still exists, but people that are living there don't know what that technology means. For instance, like this here. So. And he meets a lot of unusual creatures and people on the way. And this is, let me show you. This is the art, by the way. It's also some part of future technology in there. And for instance, this storyline is fantastic. He went with a group of people to the spaceship, but these people thought this is an act of God and creation of God, and they want to know the secret. So every year there's a group of people who try to get into the spaceship to unlock his secrets, but the spaceship has some kind of defense program through the years laying out. So every time people wants to get closer and closer, they die. So there is some kind of evil leader or the guy that wants to get into the spaceship. He every time a warrior dies, he writes it down until the next year. So that's he's going to explain to them, hey, don't walk here, because if you do that, you're going to die.
Yeah.
But since Storm is coming from, the time that we are living with technology where it's normal, he easily gets on board in the spaceship, and then basically he discovers that the self-program has been activated, and he just figured out how to how do you say, what's the word I'm looking for, put it all down, put it off, taking it off, taking offline, that's the word. But then so this is companion, red hair, beautiful woman.
All the redheads in the 80s were beautiful, 80s
Yeah,
and 90s.
it's been drawn by Don Lawrence, by the way, and it's freaking fantastic. Here as well, this is within the desert, where the desert is so bright that they need to put goggles on it, because if you are walking around without goggles, you're getting blind permanently. And so Harry, this is the part of the into the spaceship, and this is the geezer that wants to take control of the gods, and but Storm, he's the rational one. Hey, this has nothing to do with gods. This is all technology. This is all program. And he says, no, this is you are what's the word in English? Heiligschennis, blasphemy.
Sacrilege, yeah.
Yeah, sacrilege and blasphemy. But then all the other warriors trusting Storm more, because they are not dying because of Storm. And then this old geezer wants to, has a plan to take all the glory for himself, but then eventually he dies as well. This is freaking fantastic. The fun part of Storm is that every comic, and it takes about 1 or 2 years, maybe 3 years sometimes, because of Don Lawrence he's more of a painter instead of a comic artist, but he's like a combination. And his work is so beautiful, so detailed. It takes about 3 years to get one comic out. And I was blown away of everything I have from him so far. And he died years ago, unfortunately, and his son doesn't want to take over the business, unfortunately. But they are still making comics with Romano Molenaar, who's also a Dutch guy, is doing Storm. But the fun part of Storm is every comic is set in a different place with a different storyline, with different threads. And Storm is a very likable guy. He is very neutral. Yeah, he sees the good things in people, but also now recognizes the bad things. He's the prototype good guy, but he's not naive. He's also, well, from an astronaut, he's turning into a warrior. And then his companion, red hair, and this guy here called, I forgot his name. Guys, what's his name?
Maybe our friends in the chat knows.
Yeah, maybe someone knows. I read some Storm comics. I remember the one that you mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah.
As a child, I kind of found
Nomads.
very.
I believe it's Nomads.
Nomad. Okay,
yeah.
I found it fascinating to look at. Also, as did the comics of Trigon.
Yeah. Trigon Empire. Yeah.
Yeah. That was also great. Yeah, it's a very distinct art style.
Yeah. When I was into the comics, the American comics, I was a kid. I didn't know better, but the European comics didn't really appeal to me. Storm, or Trigon, or Kuifje, Tintin, I believe, they were not appealing to me. But as I grew older, I think I missed a lot on these great art and great stories.
Yeah,
and Storm as well. And European comics didn't shy nudity as well.
Yep.
And that makes also more believable stories as well. Sometimes that you don't always have things covered up or planned somewhere, because you can do much more with storytelling as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So Misophonic says that my mother used Storm comics as examples when sculpting statues because of the details in the muscles.
Yeah.
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 Cool. I'd love to see those statues.
Yeah. So by the way, what I'm showing you is the Trigon Empire. Highly recommended. They have been remastered recently. You can buy them online somewhere. There's 3 volumes. So what is this all about? Trigon Empire is basically Roman Empire, but then with technology. So they have their Roman uniforms, with the capes, etc., but still have, like flying vehicles and etc. And it's
very sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Storm actually connected, or are all those stories individual?
Those are individual. Trigon Empire and Storm, there are two universes, basically.
No, I mean not those two, but only the Storm comics. Are there some things that happened in one comic that has repercussions in later comic?
Yeah, in the beginning, the Storms was just individual storylines, but then they are going to the planet called Pandarf, and then there's in that universe, Pandarf universe, is some kind of he's not an emperor, but some kind of magistrate. Once he is calling Storm the Anomaly, and by getting imprison him, he can access through machines and some kind of ultimate power that he's not residing in Storm, but he's unlocking the ultimate power through the Anomaly Storm. So he is being hunted all the time by the magistrate and his companions. Let me see if I can Storm Pandarf. If I can show it real quick or not. Where is he? No, the Trigon Empire. Also not. Sorry. Wait, I did. Yeah.
While you're looking, what was it back in the day when you had Red Sonja, when you had red hair? what happened with all those?
Wow,
those reddish, red haired women that we all like.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just tickled my fancy, if that's what you're saying in English or something.
Mary Jane was very popular always.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I always had a thing for red hair, the character in Storm. And also, like you said, they don't shy away from nudity. But me as a young boy was, whoa, something like that. But we are so accustomed to nudity here because of European comics and European, movies like, Italian and French movies. There's a lot of nudity in there. But I don't know. It just speaks to the imagination, maybe some ultimate beauty or something, because they have an alabaster skin and then the popping red hair. I don't know. It's just red hair are just gorgeous creatures.
The characters which I'm referring to, like red hair, but also Red Sonja, for example, they were written as very strong females. Yeah, and I think that is such appealing. Also, Mary Jane, she has gone through hell, but she also always picks herself up. She's there to support Peter Parker, basically, and he can't be Spider-Man without her.
Oh, that looks weird.
Yeah, you also had the Phoenix, Jean Grey, the Black Widow.
Yeah.
You had a lot of, but they were all written as strong female characters, and I think that was very appealing to readers like us.
Yeah,
because they didn't need nobody to fight or to go through issues or problems. Or I think Red Hair has his own comic as well, right?
Yeah. Exactly. There's a spin-off called Red Hair. Well, it's Storm, but then in a split universe. So they're basically expanding their property, their IP. And I haven't read it, one of them. I haven't read Red Hair. So, but I need to pick that up as well. Bristolian Dave says, I got a thing for red hairs. I think Marinus might too. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Don't we all?
Yeah, who doesn't, man?
It's weird, right? We mostly say, "Oh, you like blondes, right?" Well, no, I mostly had a thing for black-haired women, or maybe red-haired, and occasionally a blonde hair. But mostly blondes are, I don't know, maybe the most beautiful creatures on the world. Where I hear some guys talking, said, "Yeah, I need a blonde," and a blonde, with the big, the stereotypical. And I said, no, just give me a black hair or a red hair. I love it.
But I don't know why this trope is around that red-haired people are also always getting bullied upon. Especially when you had the South Park episode, they really had it bad in certain parts in the US, I think. But I don't know. I don't know why this trope is there, because I think red hair people can be one of the most beautiful people walking around there.
Yeah,
especially when they have blue skin also.
Mystique is my favorite.
Mystique, right?
Yeah.
And Starfire doesn't really have red hair, I think. It's more like
brownish golden.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, copper.
There's a golden glow.
Copper, copper, flaming fire. Yeah. Well, it's on fire, so I count it as red.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? It has different tones. So the Jack Kirby is the more fantastical, in my opinion. It has more, more bombastic, more energy in it. And while Storm is more, it's more sci-fi. It's more out of this world. It's something that I haven't seen before, with all the creatures and the tropes and the storylines that I really liked.
Firestar,
yeah.
She's from the New Warriors. She has red hair.
Nah, she's from Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Oh yeah, also. Yeah.
And he appeared later, years later in the comics. She was first introduced in the cartoons.
Okay.
But going by the numbers, I think red-haired people in the Marvel or in the comic universes are more there are a lot of more red-haired people in those universes than in our universe, probably. Because you have so many red-haired people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And what do I have more? Yeah, well, I have, of course, the comics from Jack Kirby, Kamandi.
Oh yeah, Kamandi. Yeah.
Kamandi. I think that's a very cool. Sorry for the glare, guys. It's this is
no worries.
I believe it by Kubert. Is drawn.
All right.
Yeah.
Christ, yeah, sorry. And this is by, of course, our friend Jack Kirby. Oh, Jesus Christ, the glare is
it's
crazy. Yeah, it's the plastic, sorry.
But what's shining through? There is a background shining through the glare.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any, maybe I should put it out of the back.
It's magic. I would have wondered what happened if...
Marina's the magician.
If Jack Kirby drew Star Trek comics.
So this is probably this is not better at all. What the hell? Look at that.
This is weird, man. Yeah.
Magic.
Wow, that's crazy.
Looks like those hologram covers we had in the 90s.
Yeah. This is a special edition, guys. Only $1,000. Buy it now.
Hey, welcome, Chris, to the show.
Hey, Chris, man.
Hey, welcome.
And so what I like about Kamandi is that he's just a boy, and it's basically reversed. He's also a blonde guy. That's you don't see much anymore in comics, by the way. And he is somewhere also in the future. But then animals are talking, and the animals it's basically Planet of the Apes. But then we're talking animals, and Kamandi is that guy from Planet of the Apes. That's the actor, basically.
Marky Mark.
No, not Marky Mark. Not Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. Well, he's the guy in Planet of the Apes as well.
Yeah, well, no. Charlton Heston, I believe, the original.
Oh.
I'm a fan of the classics.
Okay, my second choice was James Franco. So.
What? Screen special effects, Sugar? No. I wish it was. Otherwise, I have here in the background, naked women or the beach or something. But unfortunately, I'm just sitting in my house. Sorry. And what I really like...
Dog Gift Comics is also here. Welcome, man.
Yeah.
Welcome.
What's up?
Yeah. Maybe the last comic that I wanted to show you is a new one. It's called The Plunge, and it's a.
Oh, that's because you're really sitting in the toilet right now, says Mr. Fun.
Yeah. I'm taking a plunge right there. No, this is a horror comic.
Yeah.
By DC, Black Label, and this you can take it off. So this is and the cover. Well, it's a hardcover. Oh, it's too much shine. Well, it's not very fantastic, the original cover, but let's. I'm gonna share the screen real quick. Just give me a second. It's about a group of people. They get hired by a company, like an oil company, and there's a ship stored on the border of Russia. They need to retrieve it because there's something valuable there, data, because of deep sea diving information. So the group is going to get there to retrieve that, but then they are just doing some barbecue at an island before the sunrise, and then they are I need to show it first. Just give me a second. The screen otherwise. Show it.
Show us the comics.
Oh yeah, sounds cool, man.
What's up?
Sounds like a cool premise already.
So
there it is.
This is what happens. There are people there. They have no eyes, and they are meeting with the people having a barbecue, and they say, "Hey, we are stuck here, and we cannot get off." But they look very creepy. And what's happened that can I show more? Yeah, why not? Oh, this is a Gary Frank cover, by the way. What's this? The art is fantastic, and what happened is that these creatures have been what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, you know what?
What's the word?
Here.
Bird is the word.
They are infested with alien worm-like creatures, and they want him to open some kind of gate because something is in there, and they say, "Hey, listen, you are not going to get off this island, and if you do what we are saying, we're going back to where we came from, and you have no problem dealing with us anymore, because if these creatures are coming into the water, it's going to replicate, and it's going to be a disaster for the whole world." So they basically doing what they are saying until they are discovering what they are up to, and what they are up to is pretty shit. So I'm not going to spoil it everything, but let's say it's creepy as shit. And is this good? I mean, the art is very, very good. Can I show you the creatures? Give me a second here. Where are the
spoilers?
Where are the creatures?
The premise sounds great, and I never heard of the series.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna. It's pretty new. It's pretty new. So this is in the beginning in an aquarium, and she said, "Hey, there's something wrong with the whatchamacallit. You need to check it out." And this is later in the comic. Can you see this? These creatures here.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the baby.
So are these like zombies that are animated by these worms?
Exactly. So these creatures are living for more than 50 years, 60 years on that island without any food. And then this is near the end. It's really a good comic. I highly recommend it to people who like horror comics. And it's called The Plunge, or Plunge,
okay.
PLO, and this is well, you can see it on the right. What's going to look like.
I was already wondering. You had two very sci-fi comics you really like, and I thought, hey, this guy makes horror comics for his own. On his own. Where is his horror comic? And here it is. This sounds really great. Really sophisticated horror. I like that.
Yeah, it's more like it's no superhero story, but what I like is good storytelling and good art. Yeah. And I saw a lot of what's going on with Plunge, and it's basically also the back here. And I thought, you know what? I got it at a good price, and I got the hardcover, all the comics in one. And I really liked what I saw. It drove me in. I just read it in one sitting. I believe it's 6 issues. So I read it all in one go. So it's the story that drove me in, because normally I'm all of, science fiction and horror and blood and gore and action. And this is more storytelling with more blood and gore, with more suspense, building up until the inevitable conclusion that I find is very satisfying. It's not, big revelation, but what I saw at the end, I mean, okay, maybe there's going to be a part 2, but maybe also not. It's, it's a typical horror story with an quote unquote open ending, but also not. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
man.
That's my pick, man.
Cool picks,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And also nice that you explained how or why you liked the comics as well.
Yeah, thanks. That leaves you, Dave.
Yeah, I was thinking more about reasons why I buy comic books. So we can. It's not really about the books themselves, I think, but more what triggers me to buy something, to put money into a comic. So I thought about that a little bit, and I picked a few examples. So let me start with this one, for instance. I have nothing digital. I have all the books here. Yep. So this is a series called Deathmatch.
I know that one from Image Comics, right?
It's from Boom.
Boom Studios. Okay,
actually,
almost
It has 3 issues. That's the complete story. There are no more issues. This is it. Complete story.
I like those stories. Beginning, middle, end. Done.
It's a great story. The less I talk about the story, the better. All I can say, buy it. It's phenomenal. And the reason I bought it was because of a review. So I read this review about Deathmatch and how awesome it was, and the premise a little bit was explained, and I got fascinated. So one reason I buy something is a good review from a site or a reviewer I really trust. So no shills, just something I take seriously.
Maybe you should explain a little bit, because I know what's this. I know how it ends.
Oh, you know it?
Yeah, absolutely. I've read it many times. It's about, I believe, a group of superheroes that are trapped somewhere, and they have to battle each other to the death.
Like a battle royale kind of.
Yes, like a battle royale. And the how do you say it? The ending is pretty good. Yeah,
it's phenomenal. The way they tie everything together. It's a bit of a mystery too. So you think it's all about action. It's putting superheroes together and kill each other. That part is fun too, but there's more to it. There's a deep story. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, basically they also start to mistrust each other, because first of all they are, a team, friends, and then they have to battle each other, right? And then sometimes people hesitate while they're in the arena, which gives the other one the advantage, and then who takes the kill, because if they are not going to kill each other, there's going to be a huge consequence. So they need to kill each other. The worst part is when they are in the quote unquote prison, or the thing that they are in, they don't know how have the memories, who is putting them there. But when they are in the battle arena, they know who put them there, who know, and they hold the backstory, and then they are getting speaking to each other. Hey, you need to kill me, and we need to get out of here. But when one of them wins, they're going back to the cell or to the place that they are all held captive. The memory is gone again, so nobody can tell the other one who done it, who is the evil mastermind behind of the the battle royale. It's really good. It's really good.
And of course, the story is important too in this aspect, because I bought the first issue to check it out, and I wanted more. And it was only three trades, so I bought the last two together.
I need to buy them. Yeah.
So then we have this one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's put it solo for a moment. Okay, the Savage Dragon. I've been reading the Savage Dragon ever since the beginning, since it started. And this is the last trade I bought, and the last trade I probably will buy. Because well, it stopped being interesting. It's I don't know. The actual dragon died, and now the son took over, and I don't know. Sometimes I think I've seen it before. You know, it's about 300 issues. You know, and the main reason I bought this is because I got into the habit of collecting the series.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to acknowledge that perhaps it's time to let go. It's not really the same thing you liked before, you know. So this is probably the last one.
That's the issue with me. I kind of collect because I started collecting something, I like it, and I collect it. And then even though the stories go down, the art go down, you still collect it because you have this entire history of collection. And I went to this dips before that I collected something, I stopped, and then later I picked it up again, and I needed to buy the in-betweens again.
Yeah.
And so I kind of really like the idea of Dave just checking out reviews, people he trusts, or most of the times they give a good review, to check out books, because mainly I have like eye blinders, and I just buy whatever what I already know, basically.
By the way, I got a very good review.
So it's a good reason, good reason to see reviews. Yeah.
I got a good review. It's called Darksiders Comics on his YouTube channel. I'm gonna check that out. Subscribe to his channel. He's made good reviews. It's me.
Yeah, definitely.
Just kidding.
Well, everybody should check that out. Actually, and when you're done with your comics, you know, just like Dave, just stop and go for quality comics, because quality comics nowadays is scarce.
Right. The problem with Savage Dragon is that, like you said, you have seen it done before, and for me also the interest was going away since the original dragon died, because basically if it's Spider-Man and then Spider-Man's son took over with the same stories, I basically what's how is the name of the other Spider book? Miles Morales. It's basically the same, in my opinion. You know, and he's battling almost the same villains, but then in another setting. But it's basically the same. So, yeah.
But with the dragon also, it got a little bit too political. Larson could not keep it to himself, so I kind of checked out, you know. And
what
Mr. Phonic says, I haven't read comics for a very long time, but these videos are getting me interested again. Cool, man.
Cool.
Awesome.
Do it.
Me as well. I'm really want to check out Deathmatch and Storm again. To be honest, I want to pick up some Storm comics.
Okay. Yeah. A third reason is that I like new things. So new characters that are introduced within existing worlds. I like that. So DC Universe a few years ago, they had they launched a few new titles. The Silencer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And Sideways.
Yeah.
And I have two others too, called Damage and a team book. I forgot the name, but there were 4 new titles launched almost together, and I checked them all out. They had great art, just because I wanted to get to know these new characters. I've seen Batman, I've seen Superman. I want something new, and these are in familiar universes with great art by Kenneth Rocafort and John Romita Jr., for instance. So
good names.
That made me pick up these books.
Yeah,
great stuff.
Dave, can you address the what Misophonics is saying?
What is he saying?
No, the one before.
I found 12 issues of Deathmatch online. Guess it's another series than the 3 Dave had. No. What you probably found were 12 single issues.
Floppies.
And what I have here are trades, so they're collected. I think you can collect them with 6 issues each.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, there's probably 12 issues floppies with different covers, and the trade paperbacks has them all collected into one. Mostly all the covers that you have on the floppies are mostly on the back side or in the back of the trade paperbacks, which is trade paper. Yeah, I love trade paperbacks. It's here as well. I got all the covers from Plunge, all the 6, all the covers has been in the back.
All right, yeah.
You know what? I'm going to show you. Why not?
That's a good thing when you discover a series later. If you're lucky, they're already collected in a trade, and I rather buy those than the single issues.
Can you make me a little bit bigger?
Yeah, you're big, man.
Yeah. So we have also some kind of a storyboard, sorry for the bad lighting. And then we have the covers of all of the issues. It's pretty a little bit dark.
All right, yeah.
Looks creepy, man. And there's also alternative covers as well. Like this one's from Gary Frank. Really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
I love the art, to be honest.
Yeah, the art is very good. I got this for $12, I think. It's pretty cheap at the time. Yeah. 6 issues, $12. Yeah. And a hardcover.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that with going for new stuff, I think it's very good. I've been stuck in this thing, and I have a lot of trade paperbacks. I read because I was invested in the whole universe, and then you had one story going into the next story, so you also wanted to buy the story, but the art is shit. It's different. The story is shit, and you buy these trade paperbacks because you want to have the whole picture of a certain story.
Yeah.
For example, those stupid events Marvel has each year. And now, and there are not always, you can't rent a comic, just like you did a movie. You rent a comic and you read it. Nah, it's shite, so I won't read it anymore. So you kind of have to buy them. And then you end up with a closet full with trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
You won't ever read that anymore. And selling them, I think for maybe if you're lucky, you can get €5 for one trade paperback. Well, they cost 20 or 25 euros.
Yeah, it sucks indeed. I got a lot of floppies that nobody wants to read, not even me. But I'm not going to throw them away. But at the same time, I'm never going to read them again because they're shit.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I just stopped collecting comics, a couple of years back, and I came back just since 2019, late 2019, mid 2020, and I just started, collecting comics from other companies like Image, etc. Because just like Dave, I want to try new material. I want to go into a new kind of universe with new kind of stories, with new kind of people that I don't even know, and also older comics. For instance, I have this comic. It's called Clash. Sorry for the glare as well. This is a 3-part DC comic. It's not a superhero comic. It's about some kind of guy who is basically an Indiana Jones guy, but he's a real piece of shit. And then he discovered some kind of ultimate power, and he's gonna hellbent on on a crazy stuff. I didn't know it existed, but it's an old DC from the 90s. It's called Clash. It's a 3-parter, or 4-parter, by the way. It's a 3 or 4. I don't know anymore. But yeah, like I said, I just discovered it, and I just was so absorbed with the story. Although it's DC Comics, and I think, hey, DC Comics, Justice League, Superman, Batman. But they made a normal, quote unquote, comic that is non-superhero, and I just loved it. Yeah, so I always go back to the older comics because, well, I have a thing for older comics. But the storylines is what pulls me in lately. Although the art is not really, but yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Another reason I buy comics sometimes is because I am a fan of a specific creator, and he creates something new, like John Byrne. I'm a fan of John Byrne, and he made this. So it's not attached to anything he made before. So it's nothing from Marvel or DC.
Is he still making comics?
Yeah, he does something called X-Men Elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not official, so he doesn't make official comics anymore. But he still draws X-Men from the best period.
Yeah.
Of the X-Men. That was the time he worked on the title.
Classic X-Men.
Triple Helix is kind of like X-Men. It's his own version of it. You see some similarities with X-Men characters. It's nothing groundbreaking, but the art is classic Byrne stuff. It looks great. I just buy it because I'm a huge fan of John Byrne.
Do you have Next Man?
I have Next Man. Yeah, I have some other titles from the same series, like Trio. That's another one.
Yeah, I know that.
And those are connected. So he does have his own little universe going on, but it's not really moving now. He made a few books, and I got them all, and I think this is it. So
cool,
but fun to have,
I'm not really familiar with the new work of his. I really, really, really love his work on the old Fantastic Four and the X-Men at the time. And later he did a Spider-Man series called Chapter 1, I believe. But I really didn't dig his work at that time. Maybe it was the inker, I don't know. Okay. But it was not his work I was used to from the back in the day. I really think that work was slick. It was nice. The way he drew the Invisible Woman, I was in love with her. And
his Fantastic Four run is one of the best runs in comics ever. And it really depends on the inker he works with. They really can alter his art. I've seen panels from the pencil work compared to the final inked stage. It looks totally different. And so finding the right inker is very important to this process.
The way he draws technology is also superb. Like Jack Kirby did it in his style. Yeah. John Byrne has his own style, and he draws technology. I don't know his recent work, but back in the day, I was amazed how he drew technology.
Yeah, he is really good, and he also has those beautiful white shots. And when you see the Fantastic Four running in the background, and you see, like in the Galactus ship, his world ship, and you see all those technology and panels and whatnot there, and then we see just little tiny Fantastic Four, and then we have the big Galactus. I was so blown away with that. Speaking of, Dave, I wanted to share something with you. Maybe you have it, maybe you don't, because I acquired something from John Byrne that I didn't know existed, but maybe you know it. I don't have it in possession yet, but this is it. Critical Error. It's a one-shot.
I do not know it, indeed.
Critical Error is what I've seen. It's no words, just pictures with John Byrne art about a cosmonaut who crashes into, medieval world or something. Or
okay,
and,
I heard of it.
It's published by Dark Horse.
Yeah.
And this is the old Dark Horse logo. So I just stopped it recently, just for $150.
Hello, Ryu.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey, Ryu.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh,
so
I have to check that one out, man. I never heard of it.
Yeah, me neither.
I heard of it, but I lost.
Something to go hunt for. There are still a few comics that I really want and I can't find. So this one goes on the list.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Yeah.
John Byrne also drew some Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah. There are a few titles that he did that don't interest me. He also drew Angel, so a spin-off from Buffy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really care about that. It's
it's not your name. Me neither.
No, it's not only everything from a certain creator. There are, of course, some really good things you want.
Yeah, it's a combination. It's the creator plus the genre that I like, but I never cared about Buffy, so it's
but,
I don't know.
Yeah, on the other hand, I will buy everything from Jack Kirby if I had the money. I don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
some other things I bought for various reasons. I bought this one.
Oh, World of Warcraft.
Let me show it a little bit bigger. World of Warcraft. Awesome. It looks great. I never.
It looks better than the game.
Yeah, I never played the game.
I mean, either.
It's drawn by Mike Bowden. It's great art, man.
Woo.
Look at this, man.
Wow.
Fantastic. And Roland, you once colored a pinup of Earthling that was drawn by Mike Bowden.
Yeah, that's correct.
Really?
Yeah, so we did this. I have 3 issues now of this series, and the reason I bought it was simply the famous title. I didn't. I never played the game, but I love fantasy. So I knew a little bit about the world, and then these comics came out, and I thought, oh right, this is my chance to get into it a little bit without spending hours playing the game. So that was the reason, and it looks great too. So
cool.
And another reason is awesome crossovers. So this one.
Oh yeah.
Hulk versus Pitt. How can you imagine that?
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have the Hulk, and you have Pitt, which was basically the Hulk from Image Comics back then.
Yeah.
Together in one comic. That was so, man. I was so happy when
art by Dale Keown, right?
Yeah, Dale Keown. Yeah, the creator of Pitt, and I think Dale Keown got really famous when he did the Hulk run before that. Yeah. So to bring him back to the Hulk with his own character Pitt, this was a crossover that had to be, So I'm very happy I bought that.
I remember the crossover from Top Cow Comics and Marvel Comics, like people from Cyberforce, teaming up with Wolverine and etc. and Ghost Rider. Oh man, it was cool. In the Darkness, etc. And I love those team up. Those crossovers. It was also Marvel and DC time.
Were they any good? Usually those crossovers are not the best.
Yeah, it was not deep.
Like the Marvel DC crossovers, and when they were merging characters.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't like
Amalgam
that.
Universe, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Amalgam, yeah.
Yeah.
One crossover I still want. It's like the Holy Grail. It's probably ridiculous, but I just want to find it sometime. That's a crossover between the X-Men and Star Trek.
They have that.
They have that, yeah, and it's drawn by Mark Silvestri, which is one of my favorite artists. It actually exists, and I've seen art from it, and it looks awesome.
It was before the X-Men movies, I believe, and already Mark Silvestri made, or in the comic, I think I remember that they already made a comment that Captain Picard kind of looks like Charles Xavier, and while years later they were played by the same character.
yeah, indeed.
And the funny thing is that recently I watched a classic, not a classic, a Next Generation episode with Famke Janssen in as a guest appearance in the episode, and you had Patrick Stewart as Captain Picard. So you already had two characters from the X-Men in the Star Trek.
Yeah.
Wow, I just looked him up on Google. He is 63 years old, and he hasn't done anything lately, right?
Who?
Silvestri. Did he just stop?
Yeah, it's too bad. He doesn't really draw much anymore, I believe. But,
maybe he would just cut the money and said, "Hey, that's it, bye."
Yeah, there was this sort of a reboot of Cyberforce a few years ago, and I think he only drew one issue. So I don't know. It's too bad.
I don't know, man. Why did you stop? I mean, he was so great.
Yeah. Another artist who I think was great was Mike Deodato Jr.
Oh yeah.
And another reason I buy comics is this is the most shallow reason there is.
No shit.
it's the most shallow reason. But hey, that's beautiful women. So I saw this one.
I knew it. I knew it was Electra. I knew it.
Fantastic. Look at it, man. It's very thick.
Yeah.
It's all Deodato art. So let me make it a little bit bigger. Look at this, man. It's fantastic.
I like his later works better. When he drew Roman and in his later works, I think Diamondback. He just
I know that.
Such beautiful.
Yeah.
But
it's awesome.
I know that Mark Silvestri has a thing for legs. He draws tall legs, very long legs.
Yeah.
Well, don't they all? Like Michael Turner also drew legs until the ceiling on his women.
Yeah.
Lately,
this specific aesthetic that the females had in these 90s comics, they really appealed to me, and they still do. It's I really like that.
But it's the same for the male heroes as well.
Yeah.
Very buff, very muscled.
Exaggeration.
Yeah. Mark Silvestri Jr. His work lately, I don't like it anymore. It's so changed. I don't know. It's more stylized or something with weird little panels and effects on it. I don't know. I just don't like
you mean Deodato?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, that's
Yeah. He really changed, and at some point he just lost me. I really like his older work. I know Roland prefers his most recent work. I don't know if it was a big shift in style.
Yeah. I knew him before, but he really changed his work when he collaborated with Mike Straczynski, I believe, in the Spider-Man series.
Mm-hmm.
And he really drew people like actors, like real people, which appeals to me because I like that art as well. And he drew, I think, Norman Osborn as that actor.
Yeah. Lee.
Lee Harvey. No, Lee. Lee Harvey also. No, not that guy.
No, I know which one you mean. But.
Yeah, and I really liked his work then, and he then went on to the Thunderbolts, and he kind of got back to his old ways, drawing fantastic, beautiful women. I can grab a Thunderbolt comic here, right, and I can show basically.
Yeah, the shading got very heavy. Yes, really thick shadow work.
But
you have to like that, but it wasn't really my thing. It was too much.
Well, wait, I'm gonna grab. I'm quickly gonna grab something. Wait a sec.
No, sure.
Okay, cool.
Sorry. So maybe the chat. Let's go back.
Chat. Oh, someone Maverick.
Ryu.
There is a Star Trek crossover comic with the classic Transformers. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Star Trek crossed over with many franchises.
Yeah. Also with the Green Lanterns, I believe, one time.
Oh,
Sorry,
really?
I'm sitting not very good.
So we're talking about this artist, right?
Oh, yeah.
Lots of Astri.
And we're talking about this artist,
I have that
right?
book too. That you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is look what I have here. This is not his art, but it's in there.
That was Madureira.
This was Madureira. I like these ones.
Oh, yeah.
Just
nice.
minimal lines, a lot of shading. His Hulk is amazing, of course.
Yes.
All his Hulk series.
Very underrated art by him.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is some of his older work, I believe.
Oh yeah, with the witches.
Oh.
Yeah, with Doctor Strange, I know.
So I prefer that work over the Elektra work, to be honest. But that's
I know where you come from. Yeah.
And this is his Spider-Man, some of the Spider-Man works.
Oh yeah,
the
cool.
series. So I like these dark and more realistic things than the very over-exaggerated ones. Let me look for Dave for the over. Oh yeah, who can't?
She-Hulk.
Yeah,
his She-Hulk is amazing.
That's the She-Hulk we love.
That is the She. Oh, this there was one better.
May she rest in peace.
This is She-Hulk.
Yes.
I want to see her in the new series like this. Let me quickly check if I can see the art Dave is referring to or liking. Oh, you had this comic, right, Dave? You had this comic from Thor, from him.
Yeah, I have that series. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I love that art, man.
Yeah, but here we're going to his older work. You really appreciate it when it's black and white.
Yes. Yeah, it looks good in black and white.
Yeah, his latest work is called Berserker Unbound. It's pretty new. It's from Dark Horse. I didn't like it at all. More like a Conan coming from the past, Conan-like figure, and he's going into the regular world, and then some shit is happening. But I don't know, man. His art looks great, but it just didn't grab me enough.
Yeah, that happens as well. Well, I can't find the Electro ones Dave really liked in that book. But yeah. Mark Silvestri.
Jesus. Yeah. That's so sexist.
Is it? She's just posting on a gun, right?
Yeah.
Chicks with guns. But sometimes this is a perfect sample. You just want to have the black and white instead of the color.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the guy from the darkness?
I think so.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably.
This is such beautiful work.
Oh, that is cool. Wow.
That's the fun thing with art books. You don't have to buy series of comics, just one book, and you have all the eye candy.
Invisible Woman.
Yeah, and
look,
Master Phonic says
that's how you draw her.
That's how you draw it, man.
This is how you draw an invisible woman.
Yeah.
We answered that question as well from our chat. And some older work here and here as well. Yeah, it's amazing. This is I like this the sketches as well. You can see how they build the characters. I'm always very interested, not in the outcome per se, but how they did it, or in the process.
The pre-production process.
Yeah, basically, and the sketches and the layouts and why they chose certain layouts. Why not? This is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
We can make a Dutch angle by doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Great art, man.
I just leave it here for a bit.
Yeah. I always like drawing the lips of women very full.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Yeah. Very feminine.
Well, yeah, you have to over exaggerate all these beauty things that we find attractive. You put some emphasis on that. So the legs a bit longer, the fingertips,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Sylvester was a master in drawing beautiful women.
Yeah. That's I think the main reason why I like comics is it's escapism as well, to get away from all your daily stuff. And we've been doing it since the ancient Greeks. All these hero comics we read, they were also basically in the Greece times. They were having all these gods, they had all these Avengers, and they were, instead of comics, they told each other, or they drew on pots or sculptures. And we continue doing that with the Romans, with in the Middle Ages as well. It's a universal thing, heroics and portraying humans that are better or can be better, or something you can admire.
Yeah, mostly the most peak. How do you say, when a person is at its peak, physical peakness, like very muscular, very slim, very strong, very youthful. There's no, sorry for saying this, big people on that display. They also represent, like you are saying, Roland, with the heroes. They also have fit people, with the statues, always in physical great condition. Also with the women as well, perfect. And that's what people want. And they are changing that all the time now.
Of course, we also didn't have only perfect people in the stories and in our heroes, but it's fine. I remember I had some discussions or talks with Dave before, that I like to have more diversity sometimes in the faces. Some artists, they drew their female women only the same way. Yeah. And I like to have a little diversity in that sense, and the same for the men as well. But you also have, I
really got to dislike the word diversity. Yeah, use variation, or something like that.
Diversity is a dirty word now, right?
Yeah, it's not a fun word no more.
No.
But we had in the comics, old comics, also different styles of people, which is fine. Look at the Fantastic Four. Johnny Storm is totally different drawn and a character as Captain America. Not always.
It depends on who's drawing them.
Yeah, of course.
Some artists have basic postures and things they do. For instance, Jim Lee had basically the same basic principle framework for female characters and for male characters, and the exterior changed, and he had some variations with thinner characters and bigger characters, but basically it were the same archetypes.
Yeah, that's why I really like John Byrne's style, because he drew different women. He drew them differently, and some they had different body types. Look at Kitty Pryde versus She-Hulk versus the Invisible Woman versus Jean Grey, for example.
The only
Jean
thing
Grey had more jawline, for example.
True. The only thing that I dislike at John Burns' art that he is not really capable of drawing beautiful women. Yes, it's just my opinion, because I saw some when he draw Wonder Woman, I believe, and there is this character, that's becoming Wonder Girl, the blonde one. I believe she's called Wonder Girl. She was very, very childlike, and also she's just a girl. And he has always the same weird hairstyle when it comes to women. There's some kind of curl in here.
Very 80s.
Really?
Yeah. He has a very 80s hairstyle. Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever seen John Burns' She-Hulk? He drew
great.
the definitive She-Hulk for me. Yeah.
This is great.
I just have it on the shelf here.
yeah.
But
oh man.
Okay, let me find an example what I mean. John.
It's going to be a long stream.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah. Also, he draw also a beautiful Wonder Woman, by the way, who looks basically like She-Hulk, but then
black hair. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where is it?
No, but he did draw different body types.
That's true.
Yeah. So he did.
Probably what I mean is some women with hideous clothes and the glasses on it, and that really 80s haircut.
Yeah. You can really see the times in his work.
Yeah. Why can't
that's okay.
I only see beautiful women like She-Hulk when I Google it. That's annoying.
What is it with us liking green women?
Yeah, if it's not redheads, then it's
it's green. Like you had the green slaves in Star Trek. They were kind of sexual. You had the Star Wars. You had those with the tall legumes from the head. They were greenish. You have the She-Hulk. You have Fiona from Shrek, a very attractive woman.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, man,
also green.
Speaking of, I cannot find it. I'm not sure why. Maybe the Google doesn't want me to find ugly woman or something. Maybe that's blocked.
Maybe it doesn't exist.
It is existing. I know it's existing, but I don't know. Can't find
that's
it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah, can't find it.
Green woman with red hair, and preferably invisible.
I think I got one. It's not really an ugly image or something, but it's more like he does that with a lot.
Talking about another red-haired woman is Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa.
Oh yeah.
So many red women in the comics.
Drawn by Maduraya. Let me grab this one so I can go on with the next reason I buy books.
He also had a red-haired warrior, right? Maduraya from Battle Chasers.
Yeah, Red Monica.
Red Monica, another one. And the fun thing.
Segue.
Okay, just give me. Let me show me this picture.
You're ruining my segue, man.
That I'm done. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I want to prove my point.
that there are ugly characters in comics.
Well,
you just look at the newer comics that are being released. That you have plenty to pick.
I mean, this is the woman that I mean. With the haircut. It's sometimes short, but the always has the same ish kind of haircut.
This is not 80s. It's less voluminous. 80s really had voluminous hair.
Yeah. But except for a few, he doesn't draw a very good woman. But that's my opinion. Although She-Hulk and Wonder Woman is very cool. That I must.
Man, that's.
Okay, here's your segue, Dave.
I cannot agree, man. I cannot agree with you on that one.
No,
anyway,
me neither.
So. We were talking about Maduraya and Red Monica. So I, of course, bought this beauty here.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's the collected edition of the entire Battle Chaser series.
Yeah, Maduraya was one of a kind, man.
Madureira, man, I love that. I love the Battle Chasers. I loved Madureira, his style when he was still on the X-Men.
Yeah.
And I followed him on Battle Chasers. I have all 9 issues. There are only 9 issues. So, and we waited for issue 10 for years. It never came. Anyway, when the collected edition came out, I bought that one too. So this means I also buy collected editions from series that I love, that I have
as floppies.
As floppies, yeah.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
Okay. So you still have floppies as the collected edition?
I read the floppies, and this one I barely open. It's more like for the collection,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the same goes for
looks nicer in your closet as well. Looks nice in your cabinet.
The same goes for the omnibus from X-Men by Jim Lee.
Oh, Jesus.
And Chris Claremont. Look at this.
Yeah. How many pages? 1,000? Something?
Almost. But I have these as floppies. I have these as trades. And now I have them in omnibus also. It's just I can't get enough of this series. So every format there is, I will buy it.
Well, you have the Fantastic Four as well in those omnibuses. From John Byrne.
In this range. Format?
Yes.
Seriously?
For sure.
Oh,
definitely.
I'll have to check that out then.
Oh man, he's gonna buy that.
But those are €40, right? Or $40?
40? No,
more?
Man. This is more like 100.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you have these discounts.
No, 40. No. No, if you get it for 40, you're very lucky.
I also have some trades that I have floppies from, mostly Dutch floppies, and I have an American trade. But I have one trade from Hellshock, which did feature one comic that was not released as a floppy, I believe. So the only way to get the whole story was to buy the trade, even though you had the floppy before.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's like the inverse of what Eric Larson did with the Savage Dragon. You have all these trades, so you can collect trades, and at one point there are about 2 trades missing, so you have to buy 12 single issues to collect the story, and these trades never came out. It's really weird.
Yeah,
okay.
It is.
So another reason. Oh man, so many reasons to buy comics, man. Another reason is if a comic is pretty old, like this one. Four.
De machtige Thor.
The machtige Thor. Yeah, this is from 1972.
Sell it to me.
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah,
it's not colored.
It's black and white.
You see,
yeah.
It's drawn by John Buscema.
Buscema, yeah,
and written by Jerry Conway. So very cool. So and sometimes people sell this for €1 because they don't really know the value, or they don't care.
For 50 cents even.
Yeah, so
and they are uncolored. You can really appreciate the artwork.
Yeah.
I have those as well. They were released as hip comics, right, in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
But
is it worth because it's a Dutch version?
What do you mean?
Well, you say, I believe if that's American version, it probably was worth a lot. But
yeah, honestly, I don't know. But it's I just love the fact that this is so old, and it's in black and white, and the lettering is actually a little bit crappy. It doesn't have the official fonts, but it's fun to have.
It's very tight letter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some of those from the Spinneman, the old version.
Oh, Spinneman, yeah.
Spinneman and The Vier Verdedigers,
IJzerman.
which is translated to the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Ruwe Bonk.
The Hulk.
Oh yeah.
The Hulk.
That's right. Yeah. Ruwe Bonk. Okay. Another reason I buy comics sometimes is because I know the creator. That's really it basically. So I bought this one, Elysian Fields.
Oh, yeah.
I know the creator, Michael Oden. I didn't really know much about this comic besides the fact it's basically a story set in mythological times, has a mythological setting with gladiators versus mythological creatures. I have still to read it, but I bought it because I know the creator. So that can be one reason for me personally. Another reason is morbid curiosity. So I loved the series The Walking Dead. I have the entire series, and when that finished, I wanted something new to replace it, and I read about this comic. Let me show you. I read about this series. Do you know it?
Crossed.
Never.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Crossed.
I know it very well.
Okay, so I read the premise. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. That's like the next level for after my zombie fix was over. Then I could get into this one. So I had so much faith in this that I bought 3 trades, and I read the first one, and I didn't want to read anymore.
Because
I really did not like it. The concept is good, but the execution wasn't that good. Plus the fact that it basically made me depressed.
too graphic.
Too graphic. It was too real. It's basically the story of something that happens to people that takes their restraints completely away.
Yeah.
So you have people without any moral boundaries, and the things they do, it's terrible. And it's the same with the movies from The Purge. I can't watch these either. There is something about movies where humans show their worst selves, and comics with humans show their worst selves without any shred of humanity that really gets to me. Yeah. So this wasn't my series. So I sold the other 2 books. I still have to sell this one.
Yeah, I believe they make comics like that for shock value. I mean, there is maybe it's a little bit also this is completely out of topic, by the way, but maybe it's also real, because if people are desperate, they're doing terrible things. I see, well, not personally, but we've seen it on television and in the news all the time.
Yeah, the thing is, this evil, we all have it.
Yeah.
The only thing that prevents us from doing evil is morality. Things are right, things are wrong. But when you take that filter away, then there's nothing holding you back, and that's basically what these stories are.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I can't really bear that.
You had some inklings, or you had some stories touching those things in, for example, The Walking Dead and kind of series like that. But you always they always are reminded, or something happens that they come back and appreciate the morality of it. And or you have the bad guys that do that. And but I really get Dave, because nowadays in the world as well, you see less and less people have these moral constraints on social platforms, even in real life. I mean, the every day you read a news item, or you read on the news that somebody is stabbed or whatever in the Netherlands, and why? What's going on that people don't have these restraints? And I think it's a kind of also a bit scary in that sense. So I kind of get Dave's point of view, that you don't want to read that in your escapism, in your
I know.
in things you want to.
Yeah, and the thing is, I love horror, so I loved The Walking Dead, and I love comics from Junji Ito, for instance. But those are really outrageous with fantastical elements like zombies, and those things I like. Yeah, but if you take all that away and the monsters are basically just humans, that's hard for me to swallow.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Okay, cool. So another reason I buy comics is the artist. I bought this one.
Jim Lee?
Jim Lee is one of my favorite artists. Jim Lee. And this was a collaboration between Jim Lee and Frank Miller.
Yeah.
I remember.
So I bought this trade. It collects, I think, 9 issues. And it was supposed to be 12 issues, and the other 3 never came out. But it's 9 issues of phenomenal art. Look at this.
Ooh, with Batgirl.
Awesome.
The real Batgirl, yeah.
It's fantastic art, man.
Is that also that, what's his name? The friend of Bruce Wayne with the bandages? What's the
Hush.
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 Hush?
No, that's a different story.
Ah, okay.
But I like Jim Lee's art in that story.
Oh man, yeah. Jesus,
look at this. The art is so phenomenal. So the art alone was worth the purchase.
Yeah.
The story, however, is awful. It's absolute shite, you know. so I basically consider this an art book. I just browse through it and enjoy the artwork, which is phenomenal. But the story is really ridiculous. It's I don't know what he was thinking, man. So okay, I have one last reason I buy comics sometimes. I bought this one.
What's that?
From Antarctic Press, Ninja High School Indie Wars, and I bought this one because I was featured in it. I made one story, so I had to buy it myself. I made this story. So you see Earthling in a short story. It's like a crossover. It's a story about these 3 characters. They come from the series Ninja High School, and something happens, and they jump through dimensions, and they go. So they land in different comic books. So at one point they land in the genuine universe, and that was the segment that I made for this book.
Cool.
I'm still waiting for my comp copies, Ben. If you're watching, give me my comp copies, man. Okay.
Cool. Never knew that.
No.
So those were my reasons.
Yeah, so nice to know that each have their own motivations and to buy and read comics.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we're basically done, right?
Yeah,
that's a lot. Yeah,
we didn't manage to reach the 1.5 hour.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So shall we end it here then for today?
Yeah.
Okay. Darkside, can you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter at DarkSideIsComics. I have recently an Instagram account at DarkSideIsComic, but with the dark side is I have _is_comics.
I saw.
And I got a YouTube channel as well. Well, I do reviews, unboxing, live shows sometimes, talking with creators. Yeah, I do a lot. Check it out. Subscribe to my channel, please. And follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Thanks.
Okay, man. Roland.
Just visit my my website. It's rolandlamers.com and check some artwork of mine. If you want some art or animations, you can hire me. And I'm building up my social media. So be patient. It will be there. I will have Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and whatever.
Oh, TikTok. Awesome, man.
That sounds good.
Okay, so well, people can find me on Twitter at Genuine Comics. I'm on Facebook at the Genuine Comics page at Facebook, and Instagram also Genuine Comics. And I have a profile on Minds, which I use not a lot, but I must use it more often.
Yeah, Minds as well.
So anyway, if you liked this stream, please like it and subscribe and all the rest. And we hope to see you in the next episode of the Dutch Angle.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.